Hi, in this video tutorial, we will discuss about the concept of files in C++ and how to perform input and output operations in files. So, first we will discuss about how to use the concept of files in C++. To perform input and output operation in C++, we have been using a useString standard library, which provides cin and cout methods for reading from standard input and writing to standard output. To perform in read and write operation in files, we have to use another C++ library called fstring. For performing file processing operations, you have to include two header files in your C++ program. They are iostream and fstring. The standard C++ library for file operations such as fstring defines three data types. The first one is OFstring, second one is IFstring, and the third one is fstring. First we will see what is OFstring. OFstring represents the output file stream, that is used to create files and to write information to files. Second one is IFstring, which represents the input file stream and is used to read information from files. And the third one is fstring, which represents the file stream generally, and it has the features of both OFstream and IFstream, which means it can create files, write information to files, and read information from files. Before performing any read or write operation in a file, you should open your file first. For opening a file for reading purpose, you can use ifstream object. For opening a file for writing purpose, you can use OFstream object or fstream object. The function used for opening a file is OpenOf function, which is a member of fstream, ifstream, and OFstream objects. The syntax of OpenOf function is void OpenOf, two arguments, file name and mode. Void is the return type, open is the function name, then the two argument values file name and mode. The first argument file name, which specifies the name and location of the file to be opened, and the second argument mode, which specifies the mode in which the file should be opened. Can be reading mode or it can be writing mode. Here we are going to discuss about different modes for opening a file. As I discussed earlier, you can open your file in reading mode, then you can open your file in writing mode for performing read or write operations. Then also you can open your file in different other modes based on the purpose. So here we are going to discuss about main 5 modes for opening a file. Here also I included reading mode and writing mode. The first one is APP mode. The syntax is iOS :APP. iOS stands for Input Output Stream Class, which is a base class. Then stands for Scope Resolution Operator, which is actually used to get hidden names due to variable scopes so that you can still use them. Then APP. APP is the mode, which is called as append mode. So append mode is used for appending the output to that file at the end. Then second mode is ATE mode. This is used for open a file for output and move the read or write control to the end of the file. Then the third mode is in mode. This is used for reading. So if you want to open a file for reading, you can use in mode, that is iOS :in. If you want to open your file for writing, you can use out mode, that is iOS out. Then the last mode is trunk mode. Here, if the file already exists, its content will be truncated before opening the file. We are using trunk mode for that purpose. So these are the main 5 modes for opening a file. If you want to open a file for more than one purpose, you can combine 2 or more of these values by ORing them together. For example, if you want to open a file in writing mode and you want to truncate it in case that already exists, the syntax for doing the same is you have to create an object of OFStream first. The syntax is OFStream output file, that is the object name. Then that object name dot open, that is the function name. Then you have to pass 2 arguments. First one is the file name, that is file.dat, and you can open that file in different modes. Like you want to open that file for writing, you can write it like iOS out. Out is stands for the mode for opening a file for writing purpose. And you want to combine truncate operation along with write operation. You can open it like iOS trunc trunc. In similar way, you can open a file for reading and writing purpose. For that, you have to create an object of fstring class because fstring supports both reading and writing operations. That is, it has the features, so fstring has the features of both OFStream and IFStream. So you want to create object of fstream first. Syntax is fstream, object name, that is a file is the object name here. Then that object name dot function name, that is open of file name, that is file.dat. Then iOS out if you want to open that file for writing, or if you want to open that file for reading, you can write it like iOS in. We already discussed about how to open a file for different purpose. Next we will see how to close a file. So normally when a C++ program terminates, it closes all the open files. Then it releases all the allocated memory, and also it automatically flushes all the streams. But it is a good practice that a programmer should close all the open files before the program terminates. The function used for closing a file is close-off function, which is actually a member of fstream, ifstream, and ofstream objects. The syntax for close-off function is void close-off. Next, we will discuss about how to perform write operation to a file. If you want to write some information to a file from your program, you can use stream insertion operator double less than. As we are using it with cout to output information to the screen. The only difference is that you have to use ofstream or ifstream object instead of cout object. If you want to read some information from a file into your program, you can use stream extraction operator double greater than along with ifstream or fstream object, as we are using it with cin to input information from the keyboard. In the next slide, I will show you how to write a C++ program to open a file in reading mode and writing mode. Also, how to write information entered by the user to a file, and also how to read information from the file and display the output on the screen. This is an example of a simple file program in C++. In this example, we are going to discuss about how to open a file in reading mode and writing mode. Then we will discuss about how to write information or data into a file. Then we will discuss about how to read data from a file and display it on the screen. So for that, if you want to write a file program in C++, first you have to include the header file fstring. The syntax is #include fstring. Then another important point you want to notice is every data or information in a file is considered as character or string. So for reading data, I have declared an array data with the size 100. Then first we are going to perform write operation into a file. For that, I have to open that file for write operation. The syntax is first you have to create an object of class ofstring. By using that object, we are going to open a file for writing. The syntax is ofstring out file. Out file is the object name. So the object name is out file, which is created. Then we are going to open a file by using that object name. Syntax is out file dot open of a file dot dat. Here out file is the object of ofstring class. Then dot open is the function for opening a file. Then a file dot dat is the file name. So a file dot dat is opened for write operation. Then the user is asked to enter the name that can be accepted by using cin.getLine function. That data will be stored into array data. Then we are going to write that name into a file. The syntax is the object name double less than the array where we are stored data. The syntax is out file, that is the object name of ofstring class. Double less than is the stream insertion operator that you have to use along with the object name for writing data into a file, that we already discussed under the writing data into a file section. So out file double less than data will write the name into the file a file dot dat. Then the user is asked to enter the age. Then that can be accepted by using cin data. So age is stored in array data. Then a function is called ignore, that is for clearing one or more characters from the input buffer. Then after getting the age in the data array, we are going to write that information into file a file dot dat. So syntax is out file, that is the object name of the ofstring double less than data, that will write the age into the file a file dot dat. So both name and age is stored in file a file dot dat. Then our write operation is over. Now we are going to close that open the file. The syntax is object name dot close off. So out file dot close off. Then we want to open a file dot dat again for reading purpose. So next we are going to read data from that file and display it on the monitor. For that, I have to open file a file dot dat in reading mode. The syntax is I have to create an object of if string class first. The syntax is if string object name. Here the object name is in file. Then I want to open file a file.dat in reading mode. So in file dot open of a file.dat will open file a file.dat for reading purpose. Then we are going to read the first data, that is the name from the file a file.dat. The syntax is the object name of if string, that is in file double greater than data. The double greater than is stream extraction operator. So we already discussed under how to read data from a file. So syntax is you have to use double greater than symbol or stream extraction operator along with the object name of if string, that is in file double greater than data will read the first line of characters from the file, that is name from the file. Then we are going to display it on the monitor. The syntax is cout data, that will display the name on the monitor. Then again we are going to read the next line from the file. The syntax is in file double greater than data, that will read each from the file a file.dat. Then we are going to display the data age on the monitor or screen. The syntax is cout data, that will display the age on the screen. Then we close the open the file. That is the end of this program. The output of this program I will explain in the next slide. When you execute the previous program, you will get output like this. First, in the main program, the user is asked to enter the name. Then user will enter a name Sarah. Then we are going to write that name into the file a file.dat. Syntax we already discussed in the previous slide. Then Sarah will be stored in the file a file.dat. Then the user is asked to enter the age. Then user will enter an age like 9. Then this data also write into file a file.dat. Then after closing the file, we will open the file again for reading data from file a file.dat. So by using the object of if string class, we can read data from the file a file.dat. That will read name and age from a file.dat and display on the monitor. The syntax for the same we already discussed in the previous slide. So you will get output like this. This is the end of video tutorial of file input and output operations in C++. Thank you.